Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if it's not your first time. And thank you for coming. So today I'm going to do the tarot tag that has been flying around quite a bit recently, which is I think Chanel Days started it. I saw it on Tammy Pie's channel, the mid-year tarot tag. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first prompt is the deck I've used the most so far in 2025. And this is this little guy. I've got two little people attached to my wrap now. I think they're quite cute. Started decorating my tarot wraps recently. Yeah, so this is a pretty standard universal Tarot of Marseille. I've made my own little booklet for it, because the one that I got with it was in Hebrew, which I understand a little but not very well, and it's a bit beaten up these days, so I've edged it and then I unedged it again. I decided black was too imposing. I'm thinking of sort of doing a burgundy like the card backs. I don't really like the card backs, but and you know, there's a lot of criticisms of this deck. It's based on the Claude Burdell. Ina was kind enough to point me in that direction because I've lost the booklet, and yeah, I wasn't sure which deck this was. I lost the book. I think I threw the box away and I lost the booklet. It must be in the house somewhere, but I've no idea where. So yeah, there's quite a lot of criticisms of this version of the Claude Burdell. People complaining about the line work. I guess it's a bit thick and cartoony, I'm not sure. And I've looked at the facsimiles. The original Claude Burdell is really beautiful. But for whatever reason, I've become quite fond of this deck. It's in order because I did a side-by-side yesterday with a deck that I've made. But yeah, I ended up, because I'm learning the Marseille, I ended up pulling cards with this every day for a few months. I've moved on to a different deck now, but this was the one that I was using until quite recently to learn the Marseille. So I'm quite fond of him, you know. They're just straightforward Marseille images. Well, when I say Marseille, it's Swiss. Claude Burdell was a Swiss card maker, so it's from the Swiss tradition, and it's got some nice, like the horses and so on. So that is the deck that I've been using the most in 2025. But yeah, it has recently been superseded by some other decks that I've added to my collection. Okay, and tag number 2, a new deck that came into your collection this year. So yeah, I've added a few decks to my collection this year. The one is my own deck, which I've just finished making, but that's going to come up in a different tag, in a different prompt for this tag. Sorry. So the one I was going to show you is the Atea Tarot, which I just received this week, and I haven't opened it. So it's a very new deck added to my collection, and I'm quite looking forward to it. Look, they put a nice note saying, "Thank you for supporting our small business." I bought it through Amazon, but it's from these guys, Vieux and I've read good things about the version that they've produced here. So I'm looking forward to opening that. Maybe I'll do it on camera, or otherwise I will probably do a video about it at a later stage. But that is a new deck that I've added to my collection. Okay, a deck that could be better. So yeah, I recently got this deck, the Golden Dawn, and I wanted one of these. So there's a couple of versions of the Golden Dawn Tarot. So the Golden Dawn initiatory system included tarot practice, and initiates into the Golden Dawn had to draw their own, or I'm not sure if it was draw or just colour their own tarot deck. But versions of the original tarot deck that it was based on, and it was by, I think, McGregor Mather's wife painted the original one apparently, but there aren't any examples of that deck. I don't know what happened to the original, but there aren't any released versions of the deck that Golden Dawn initiates used to copy. So this guy, Robert Wang is his name, yeah, in consultation with Israeli Regardie, who was an expert on the Golden Dawn, including the tarot, and he's written a few books and released various documentation around the Golden Dawn. They created this deck on the basis of descriptions of the Golden Dawn tarot. So it's quite different from other like occult decks. And then there was another one later by two people, Cicero, I don't know how to pronounce it really, Cicero or something, and who was husband and wife, I think. And yeah, and that version is different and looks a lot more like the Thoth, whereas I quite like the simplistic kind of nature of the images in this one. So I decided to go for this one rather than the Cicero one. I'll put the proper names on the screen because I'm not saying them right. And I do really like the images here. And it's a pip deck. It kind of precedes the RWS because the RWS drew on the Golden Dawn tarot, as far as I understand it, but then added, illustrated pips. So I really like this. I like the pips, and yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into it more. But the reason that that it could be better is because the booklet it comes with gives me very little, and I mean it gives you a short description, but it doesn't tell you anything about the symbolism, and it was the symbolism that I really wanted to understand. So for example, the Fool, it just says what it means, so it doesn't talk about any of the stuff in the images. So it says idea, thought, spirituality. If the divination refers to a material event, this card is not good and shows folly, stupidity, eccentricity, blah blah blah. So it's just the meaning. Sorry, I think the light was shining on it. It's just the meaning. It doesn't talk about the symbolism. And so I immediately had to go and buy a book by Israeli, like I got on Kindle. I got a book by Israeli Regardie, who talks about the symbolism and where it comes from, what it means, and then I was reading his book, and he actually said the best place to look for explanations of the Golden Dawn images and the symbolism in them is actually Aleister Crowley's book, The Book of Thoth. So then I went and bought that as well, also on Kindle. So I bought this deck and then received it, and then immediately had to go and buy 2 books to understand what was going on. Whereas apparently the Cicero and Cicero version, although I don't like the images as much, it includes a full book with explanations of the symbolism as part of the deck set. So I don't know if I made a mistake. I mean, I do love these images more. And I'm not going to get another Golden Dawn book. So hopefully the books that I've got, the Book of Thoth and the one by Israeli Regardie, are going to be enough for me to dig into some of the meanings of the symbolism in this deck. Yeah, I kind of wanted to understand other systems as well, like the Thoth and the RWS and so on, and how they all relate to each other. So yeah, could have been better. The book could have been better, but otherwise, I think I'm happy enough with my decision to get this one. Yeah, and the cardstock's quite nice. Got kind of a linen-y feel, and yeah, nice big cards. So that could have been better. Okay, my next prompt, sorry. The deck you're currently using. So I've done like a little, maybe I'll show you. I've done a little table of the ones that I want to use, and then I was being all optimistic and think I'll just work with these decks because they're decks that I've got, but I haven't like gone in depth with them yet. So I thought I'd work with them in depth, and I got optimistic and thought I'd just work with them each for a week, and it's not long enough. Obviously, that's why most people work with a deck for a month. So I am keeping this on the table now for another couple of weeks at least, probably. So yeah, it's the Curious Creatures, which I've mentioned in a different tag. I love this deck. I love it loads. It's a really fun and generous, and I don't know, it's just a really nice read. And I haven't used it enough yet, so I'm really enjoying using that again, and focusing on that specifically for a few weeks. But then I'm also doing a Marseille, so I'm doing one like RWS based and one Marseille based and an Oracle for a month. And so I'm using the Arnu and Amphu, which was a new deck for my collection just a few weeks ago. I've done a video about this deck and the art in it, and I love this deck very much as well, and kind of it's fun, and it kind of goes with the Curious Creatures quite nicely. Let me get the Curious Creatures out. So yeah, I am enjoying working with these two. Those were the cards I pulled today. Hierophant, 8 of Wands. I'm expecting some news or maybe a delivery. And then Riches later on today, which would be lovely, wouldn't it? So yeah, I am really enjoying working with these two. Oh, I want to put that one to one side. So yeah, they kind of, I don't know, the cards have similar tone somehow, and I don't pair decks, but they feel like they make a nice couple of decks to work with. For the month. Knight of Wands. Similar card stock as well, actually, like the texture and everything. Yes, I'm really enjoying these cards. Okay, now I'm getting caught up in it, and I'm going to carry on if I don't stop myself. So yeah, that is the decks that I'm working with at the moment. Okay, then biggest surprise, and my biggest surprise was this little guy. So I put a video out about this, but not many people have watched it, because I didn't put anything exciting in the title really. But basically this deck was $20, including shipping internationally, which is insane. So that is a big surprise, and the biggest surprise was that it's a really nice deck, and it's really good quality. The cards are really good quality. I can't believe that they managed it for $20. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and it's a collaborative deck, so it's got different artists contributing. I think each artist contributes two or more. Actually, some of them might just contribute one. But anyway, all the cards are really cool. I haven't found any cards that I don't like, which is useful. And you know, you can't rely on that for a collaborative deck, because obviously some of the art might jar. But with this one, I really enjoy all the cards. And yeah, and it's kind of brought together by a theme, which is the star and crown. So all of the cards in some way or other feature star or crown or both symbols in the images. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that, and it was a big surprise at what an amazing quality deck that is, for the very low price that I paid. I think it's shipped from China, but you know, $20 including shipping is mad. And it's by where have they gone? It's by Rabbit's Moon Tarot. So if you want a nice cheap one, go and check them out. Okay, what is the next prompt? Deck crush. Okay, so this is my own deck. I'm totally crushing on a deck that I made by hand. So I've by hand inked this deck. I've by hand glued all the bits together. I think there's 4 layers on each card. So there's the front image, which is I drew this with a feather pen quill and black ink, and I drew it onto a printed paper, and then that's been glued and pressed onto like a watercolor paper. The watercolor paper then was stiffened with like a board, like a cardboard, and then I've backed it as well in almost like a tissue backing. So it's got 4 layers of paper, and I've glued all of them by hand, and I've drawn them all by hand, and it's really chunky because each of the cards is quite thick because of the process, and then also you know, they're drying and they're still a bit springy and bendy, so I'm working on flattening the deck out a little bit. So I've got it wrapped in this kind of stretchy, but I'm really crushing on it. I love it. I love the pictures that I've drawn. I know you're not supposed to say that about your own art, but sorry, it's not focusing. But yeah, some of the faces have come out really, really cute. I love the Judgment card. The sun looks nice and grumpy. Some of the smaller, like, because it was with a quill pen and ink, there's some splodging, but it's based on like a deck from a story, which anyway, it's there's a whole explanation about it in my channel feed. But yeah, the person who fictionally drew this deck would probably have splodged some ink around as well, so I'm just leaving it, and because I'm just using it for personal use, then yeah, I don't mind a bit of splodging. I'm thinking of colouring some of the cards a little bit and putting a bit of watercolour. I'm really enjoying the Temperance card there. I think she came out really nicely. The Death card also came out really cool, and I tried to match the back so you can see it says DE. It actually says Devil, not Death, but Hanged Man, Pendu. Yeah, it's in order because I did a walkthrough. I think it's in, yeah, more or less in order. Hermit. Oh no, it's not in order. Anyway. Justice. I was saying in the other video, this one looks a bit like something out of The Simpsons. But yeah, some of the faces have come out hilariously. So I am totally crushing on my own deck, and I don't know if that's... oh, and I love the way the discs have come out, the coins have come really nicely, the whole suit. Didn't enjoy the swords. But yeah, that is my crush deck for the month. I haven't actually done a full reading with it yet, and I'm hoping to do that today at some stage and see how it works for me. But I did do a little reading yesterday when I was videoing the side by side with the other Marseille, and it read really nicely. It actually seemed to do a reading about its own creation, which was quite fun. Okay. a favourite single tarot card from a deck. So I actually just mentioned my single favourite tarot card from my own deck is Temperance. And then actually the Curious Creatures as well. I love the Temperance card in Curious Creatures. She's so beautiful. She's like my guide for the deck. Yeah, I can't think of a better Temperance card than that. She's gorgeous. And then for an oracle, I'm really enjoying this card from the Star and Crown, which is about the labyrinth and Ariadne and the Minotaur. And yeah, this card's really nice. So there's like the what's that one? Corona Borealis, I think. And then she's got a double-headed snake. He's got the serpent biting its own tail as a nose ring. And then they talk about mycelium roots and how they're connected. And there's these lovely arches in the background, and I just love the colours on this. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that card. And I'm actually waiting on a deck, the Red Threads deck, which is also about Ariadne and the labyrinth. So yeah, I'm enjoying that card very much. Oh, there was this one as well. Wow, this one's gorgeous. Also from the Star and Crown. See that there's a person with their arms sort of thrown back and their chakras are exploding, basically shattering. I think that's absolutely gorgeous as well. So okay, that was 4 cards, sorry. I was supposed to choose one. One would be one from my current deck would be Temperance. Okay, deck that makes you happy, and I thought of a few different ones for this, but it actually says at the top you can talk about any card system or divination tool. So I wanted to, just for fun, show you something else that makes me happy. And I've got this beautiful like mat. So these are charms, and I've got this lovely tree. It's a lino print, I think, by a lady who makes beautiful underwear. Can't remember her name. I'll put it up on the screen. But anyway, I love these charms. They're absolutely gorgeous. I think I ordered them in the UK. So you've got like a little skull. So cute. You've got things like a broomstick and what's that one? Hard to see around my iPad. Somebody scrying in a crystal ball. Little coffin. A mask. And then there's some really cute ones. A little bell, which the dangly bit actually dangles. There's a key. So yeah, I kind of take out a few and then sort of scatter them on the tree, and then you can read it according to, you know, if it's the root of the problem or a branching aspect, the central issue. So depending where it is on the tree, sorry, it's not focusing properly. Yeah, I read the tree as kind of a, and look, that one popped at the star wand popped onto the moon. So I might read that as something hidden or something unconscious, you know. So you can kind of read into the symbolism of the tree itself, and you can also add maybe the directions. So yeah, there's various layers, and it's such a free reading, you know. And if they're upside down, it might be that that energy is being blocked. Yeah, so it's a really like open reading, like a proper open reading, because there's no guidebook for this or anything like that. I just take out a few charms and kind of throw them around. That might be Ariadne there at the root, actually. Can't remember which goddess that is. I've got a feeling it's linked with Ariadne. So yeah, it's really, really cool. I love them, and I actually don't get them out enough, but they make me very happy when I do get them out. I think because they're tiny little silver things as well. That in itself makes me quite happy. There's a little cauldron. Time to brew a potion. So yeah, I am very much enjoying that. I've had them a while, but yeah, I just haven't pulled them out enough, and I'm going to start doing it more. Okay, the next one is what was that? Check that makes you happy. A great guidebook. Okay. So this is actually I'm going to show you an app. So the Fairy Tale Oracle. Here it is. The Fairy Tale Oracle app has a great guidebook in it. So instead of just the name of the card and like a reading description. So okay, let's have a look at the chariot. So yeah, you get like a little short thing saying today's card, flying white horses, pure movement and energy. But then you can also click and get full text from the book. Oh, for some reason it's not letting me. And that's the full text from the book. So then you get the whole story of the enchanted horse from the Arabian Nights. So you can read a whole fairy tale in the morning or at night before you go to bed, and then you get the symbols, and then you get the reading, the meaning in the reading. So I love this book. It's really cool because I love fairy tales, and yeah, there's loads in here, like one per card, obviously. So it's a nice little app to have on hand. I haven't drawn one today. Justice. Geese are symbols of innocence and vigilance. The horse's head represents judgment and reason. Ooh, we're going to face an injustice. But then, yeah, you can read the whole story about the goose girl, which I've heard of, but I don't remember the whole text of the story. But yeah, it's very, very nice, like that. So that's a guidebook that I'm enjoying reading. And then we've got what deck do you want by the end of the year or are still waiting on? Okay, so there's the one that I'm really excited about is the Metanoia. I'm not sure, there's only a few days left on the Kickstarter. I'm really hoping it's going to be kickstarted in time. There's still a little bit short of the target funding. So, but I really hope that one gets over the finish line because I've been wanting the Metanoia, the large size, for ages. And the other one that I really want, and I'm really so close to pulling the trigger, is one from, I think, is it Tarot Mania? And it's the Marseille of the New Incarnation. And it's a Marseille with illustrated pips, but the illustrated pips, I'll put images up here, but the illustrated pips are based on Marseille meanings, not on RWS meanings. So I'm really, and they're based on parables. It sounds really interesting. So yeah, I would love to get that one, but it's pretty pricey. I think it works out about $100 or something with the shipping and everything. And, you know, then there's also import taxes and blah, blah. So yeah, I have not pulled the trigger, but I'm so close to pulling the trigger on that one. Oh, and then I just saw the Pip speak as well on the Indigo Moon Woman's channel. Oh, I really want that one too. So, okay, I've got a bit of a long list. And then I've also got another deck idea for doing my own deck. So I want to do a whodunit deck. And I'm really excited about that idea. So I'd like it if I could get that together this year as well. So yeah, by the end of the year, I'm waiting on a lot of decks. Okay, prompt 11. Which deck hasn't been used yet or barely, but you want to work with this year? I've already mentioned the Golden Dawn, so I want to work with this one. And I've got a whole plan to understand the Sephiroth, and particularly the alphabet associations, the Aleph-Bet. In Hebrew you call it the Aleph-Bet, because it's Aleph is the first letter and Bet is the second letter. So you say Aleph-Bet instead of alphabet. Yeah, so I want to understand the associations between the Aleph-Bet, because I do know the Hebrew letters and the tarot cards. I think that's quite a nice avenue to get into, without going too occulty. So yeah, I have a plan to understand the Golden Dawn and its relation to the Sephiroth. Okay, favourite video you've made or seen? So I've been enjoying a few channels, but notable mentions, I've really been enjoying Tammy Pie's videos. She did 5 tags in 5 days, and she's got some great decks, lots of really interesting decks that I haven't seen in other places, you know, so that's been really really fun. And then also yeah, Indigo Moon Woman, who has already mentioned, she's got a series on the card meanings, and yeah, her take on the card meanings is quite interesting because she switches the elements, so that's been really, really interesting to watch as well. And yeah, the favourite video I've made is the one on the link between the Anu and Amphu tarot, and a possible link to Picasso's art and the development of Cubism. So I really enjoyed doing that one. It's a bit of a, don't know, academic-y project, but I really enjoyed it. Okay, and then it says pull a card for the next 6 months, or pick a card whose energy you want to bring into the next 6 months. So I'm going to pull a card from my deck. Why not? Let's see. I might have to skip the shuffle. Depends how long I take. It's a little tricky to shuffle this big boy. Oh, one popped out. Maybe I just read that. What have we got? The 10 of discs. Didn't I just get the 10 of discs? Wasn't that one of my cards that I got with Curious Creatures this morning as well? Well, that's fun. So where is my little Marseille booklet, which I made? So we'll go for 10. So completion and a change in material resources, money, and so on. So success. Well, I hope it's a change for the richer rather than a change for the poorer. But yeah, completing a cycle and a change in terms of my material resources over the next 6 months or so. So that sounds like it has potential. All right, thanks for watching if you stayed all this time, and yeah, have a great week. Bye.